Hi, so here we are going into week 8 of lockdown. How are we all feeling? Strange, isn't it? Because I think this is requiring more courage from us all than perhaps we care to admit. This is actually requiring us all to be quite brave. And it's important to remember, courage is not the absence of fear. It's doing something because there's something more important than the fear. So the reason to do something makes us do the thing, which requires us to be brave, which of course doesn't make it easy. And so here we are. And I think, talking to people I do talk to, that at the moment lots of people are suffering from little mini meltdowns, and people are having tearful patches or temper tantrums, or feeling impatient, or feeling that their space is crowded out, and everyone's carrying on because we have no option, and we're all being incredibly brave and incredibly, I think on the whole, very good about it. It's taking a toll, particularly on those of us who would call ourselves sensitive people. Now, many of my favourite people are indeed very sensitive, and I'm a very sensitive person myself. And the beautiful thing about sensitivity is it does give us insight, and it does help us to understand how other people might be feeling, which in itself I've always seen as a massive strength. It also allows us to connect honestly with other people on a deep and emotional level. And that too is fantastic. And it's scientifically proven that we all need to feel that we are connecting with, and I mean on an emotional level, with other people. We need that as human beings to function. So that's all fantastic. The only downside with sensitivity is that we suffer sometimes, but we also feel the highs stronger as well. So if you like, sensitivity, especially during this lockdown, can make us feel that everything is heightened. So the highs are higher and the lows are lower. And we just have to kind of know that. And that's kind of okay. We're in this lockdown, and that's how things are feeling at the moment. Sometimes it helps to remember that the way we feel is dictated by the way we view things, or these days we sometimes say how we frame things. And it's important to try and reframe things sometimes. You can look at the same situation in two totally different ways and then feel completely differently. So obviously at the moment, for those of us who are staying at home, it will be very easy to feel trapped. And like there's nowhere to go and nothing to do, and like it's just like these four walls and nothing's really changing. That's one way of framing it, but equally we could frame it as time for us, time to breathe, time to do the things that finally we deserve to do, and time just to take stock and as I say, breathe and just enjoy the moment and live for now. And living for now and being present is so important, because that also stops us feeling anxious. The other thing is this: it's okay to ask for help. I think everything in us, although we know it's okay to ask for help, that the little voice in our head says it's weak. It's a weakness to need to talk to other people about how we're feeling. And I'm no exception. I haven't found this easy, which is why I'm able to say these things to all of you. But I do think it's vital to know that it's all right to talk to other people. And the old saying that a problem shared is a problem halved is never more true here. If you need to talk about it, just do talk about it. And what you'll find is that many, many people are feeling exactly the same as you are, which is reassuring, because it's always lovely not to feel completely isolated. I think when we do think, we are inclined to overthink, and then overthinking in turn leads to anxiety. And anxiety can be absolutely paralyzing, and it can make us feel overwhelmed and inadequate all at once, with that awful sense that we ought to be coping. In my work, I work with creative people. I'm a voice coach and a singing teacher and an acting coach to some extent, and these days as much of a life coach as anything else. But all of these roles are spontaneous and creative, and all creative and spontaneous things work with a very different part of the brain to the part that does anxiety, depression, overthinking, and generally not feeling good. The good news is this: by doing something actively creative, you will turn off the part of your brain that is destroying the good feelings, because the two parts of the brain, the bit that helps you feel good and the bit that helps you feel bad, cannot work simultaneously. I always find that really reassuring. So if in doubt, do something creative. Sing, dance, write a song, cook, bake bread if you can find some yeast and flour, do the garden, all those things. And equally, if you prefer not to do those things, that's okay too. I'm going to finish on one more phrase, and I love this, and that is this. It will all be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. Thank you.